Maybe you've seen the nail images with severe pulling away of the natural nail from the nail enhancement. Or perhaps you've seen the memes of drenching your nails in cuticle oil. Cuticle oil moisturizes the skin and the nails. When the skin is moisturized, it is less prone to breaking, and so you will end up with less of those hangnails. And when you massage your cuticle oil into the fingernails and surrounding skin, you're stimulating nail growth by warming up the matrix area and encouraging it to shed more of those dead keratin cells that the nail is made up of, thereby helping your nails to grow. Also, when cuticle oil penetrates those nails, they become flexible and less prone to breakage. The benefit of this flexibility in the natural nails is that upon impact, say you jammed your fingernail straight on into an object, well, that nail is going to flex with the product and actually be protected, assuming your product is flexible, which is a very important thing I will mention at the end of this video. You won't want to miss that, so make sure you stick to the very end. So there you go. Cuticle oil does wonderful things for your nails, overall enhancing the look and longevity of your manicure. You should use it at least once per day. Don't stop using your cuticle oil. Actually, use it more, please. It really does wonderful things to the nails and the skin surrounding it. Now that this is established, let's dive in and identify more inconspicuous culprits that lead to severely dehydrated nails. Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola of paolaponcenails.com, and I help nail pros and enthusiasts, perhaps like yourself, create thriving businesses as specialized gel nail stylists. If you would like to continue growing with me, then do consider subscribing to this channel. There is an image circulating in the internet, and particularly on Instagram, that if you don't wear cuticle oil every single day, like your nails are just basically gonna fall off or fall apart, right? And while cuticle oil is super beneficial, and I definitely recommend that you use your cuticle oil daily, at least before you go to bed, right? If you're kind of annoyed that it's going to get everywhere, it's not true that that is the only reason why the nails are splitting or lifting from the sides, as you've seen in those images. And I'm actually going to make a confession in this video about why that's more likely to happen than it being the result of not enough cuticle oil, okay? So this is the confession. Sometimes when you are e-filing natural nails, whether you are the nail tech giving the service, or you're DIYer, or you're just doing it on yourself, right? Whether you're pro or not, right? You tend to be a little bit heavy-handed. And I notice, and this is the confession, that I am very heavy-handed with my right hand, my dominant hand on my left hand, when it comes to removing the cuticle area with an e-file. And the proof is in the pudding. Are you ready? Look at my nails. At first glance, they appear to be healthy, right? I just e-filed some of the gel off. There's still a little product left because I like to leave it for protection. But here's the confession. I am not light-handed on the edges of my nails. And if you look closely, and I'm going to try to bring you as close as possible here, there's actually weakness on the sides of my natural nails. And you're going to see it. You see here, had already experienced a break. Everything's fine here. This is a strong side, so I was not heavy-handed with my E-bits, particularly my diamond bits. And that picture that you see circulating is probably even more the result of using a arbor band around that perimeter of the nail, because you know you're trying to just clean up everything. And I'm guilty. It's not just the arbor band. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, you're bashing on the arbor band. Well, first of all, I don't necessarily like it for natural nails, but this is one of my cuticle removal E-bits, and it kind of mimics, right, a little bit of this arbor band in shape. And so I get really heavy-handed because I want to be so meticulous and have like no lifting, right? Because I don't have time to repair my nails. And I just go a little bit extra hard. And I notice once I go on to put on a new set or rebalance, that there definitely is some damage on the side of my nails there. This is just product left behind. this one is actually a healthy sidewall here. There's actually no damage on this one. Looks nice and strong and solid. But if I look closely, as soon as my free edge leaves the nail bed, there's a little indent here. And when that happens, I don't know if you can see it from this profile, you can see that it just kind of indents right there. That means that this nail is a really thin there. So it tells on me whether I like it or not. So I was heavy-handed there, and it's starting to curl a little bit because it's thin. And so what happens when you put on your gel, the gel's actually going to naturally pinch the nail a little bit. And my hands and my nails are going to look beautiful. They're going to look like narrow nail beds because they're thinner and it kind of pinches it. But if these were a little bit thicker, if I wasn't, my sidewalls that is, if I wasn't so over, you know, excessive or heavy-handed, then they might not pinch that much. Like this one actually is a good nail. Like I actually have not abused it on the sides so much. My thumb is relatively good on this hand. It just depends what side I just go crazy on as far as my cuticle bit, removing the cuticle. And that is why you will have weakness and splitting at the sides here as soon as the nail plate leaves the nail bed, the part that is attached to that skin. It'll just curl in. Confession, I'm telling you, look at it. You can see a little indent right there. Heavy-handed e-filing right there. I'm telling you, I'm telling on myself. Do you see that indent? It's actually more telling on this one. There's a little indent there. Again, me being personally heavy-handed. And how do I know I'm being heavy-handed with this hand and not this hand? Well, again, I can tell, but then also these nails look a little bit more slender. And that's because as soon as my nail plate or this leaves the nail bed that's attached, it kind of just pinches in, like it drops because there's no longer anything holding it, like propping it up. This is my, let's just say the black part was my nail bed, right? And this, my skin is the free edge as it's growing out. And as soon as it leaves the nail bed, it collapses because the nail bed is no longer holding and helping prop it up essentially. So as soon as my free edge grows out, boom, it starts collapsing, right? So that's the more probable reason why you see that lifting. Of course, I'm for cuticle oil. Please use your cuticle oil like every single day, at least once a day and whatnot. But now I want to show you my other hand, and you can tell the difference. Well, maybe not now because the gel is removed, but these nails are a little bit wider, and I'm actually not that heavy-handed when I'm doing my less dominant hand on my dominant hand, my e-filing. And so these nails are actually wider, okay? Like these nails are actually wider than these. I don't know if you can tell, but like look at these, for example. They are the same finger, the ring finger, and look how much wider that is and how much more narrow this is. So if you've ever also, by the way, felt a pinch on your natural nail when you're wearing gels, it's not that the gel is doing anything crazy. It's just that this nail is so thin, not necessarily mine, but your nail is so thin, and it's just pinching because that's what gel does. It kind of like contracts a little bit, shrinks, and it's nice because it will give your nails a beautiful pinch look. And this is one of the reasons why I like working with soft potted gel systems, because they'll do that. Hard gel will not. Hard gel will not give it a nice narrow pinch, okay? But as you can see, like just by these two, this one is way more curved. It has way more C curve than this one here. You see? Significantly. And that's because when I do this hand with my non-dominant hand, I actually am afraid to overdo the e-filing. So I'm a little bit more careful, and I literally just float my e-file, which is what should be happening on this hand. It's just I'm not patient maybe because I'm trying to rush through my nails. And so I just wanted to show that because that image, I've worked with nails so many years, and I've seen over 1,000 different hands, like literally within the span of 5 years, that I know what that looks like. You know, that looks like heavy handedness with your e-file. The second reason why you can have dehydration of the nail and thereby some separation from the natural nail to the nail enhancement is because of harsh chemicals. And let's face it, some systems require that you use a harsh chemical to dehydrate and prep or lay an adhesion agent on the nail prior to your base gel application. So if that's what your system requires, then yes, use it. Like, you're not going to use your hard gel without your bonder, right? Like, you're going to use it. Now, these chemicals are safe to use on the nail, but that doesn't mean that they're not harsh and that they're not going to cause dehydration. So if you're using a system that requires both a pH bonder, like a dehydrator, and also on top of that a bonder, you're further depleting the nails of moisture, and these products actually leach out the oil and the moisture in your nails temporarily. But that only means that when you get home, or like if you're the client, or when you're doing your own nails, that you have to offset that. So you have to work really hard to revitalize those nails. So you have to get some oil in there, massage your oil, do it 1, 2, 3 times a day, especially when you first do your nails, because you've leached the oils from the natural nail. And so that nail, if you don't replenish it, it will continue to just dehydrate. It has this product on top of it. You're just not really helping it to be successful under those nail enhancements. So I'm not bashing any nail enhancement. Like, if your enhancement requires that you do those chemicals, by all means. But one of the things that I like about Japanese soft gel is that the adhesion component is already within the base gel. So I do not need to use a separate pH bonder and a separate non-acid bonder, right? Like, I don't have to use those two agents. I only have to use 90% alcohol, which is a dehydration agent. Okay, let's be fair. But it's going to allow your nails to recover rather quickly. And it actually is just going to pull off some of the moisture and some of the oils. It's not really going to go through the nail and leach off more than it really needs to, unless, you absolutely soak the nail, I guess. But the moisture comes back really quick. And the other thing is that you don't etch the nails when you're using Japanese soft gel. So because you're not etching the nails with a coarse file, then the products, even the alcohol, is not going into a couple layers of the natural nail. It's just surface level. Whereas with other systems, hard systems, then you have to use a coarse file for that nail enhancement to really hold on to the natural nail. So that's the difference. You do what you have to do, but let's just be clear on why particularly some nails look worse than others, and some just, they look fine. And even if your client doesn't use cuticle oil all the time, because she's using a system that does not require pH dehydrator or a bonder, and then alcohol also right prior to that, then her nails aren't going to be off to a bad start from the beginning, right? If you're getting these hard nail enhancements, then you're going to have to do your due diligence those first few days to really replenish those nails, okay? The last thing I want to talk about is product compatibility. And this is another point that is being severely missed when the dramatic images of separation between the natural nail and the product are being shared. And it's not intentional. What I'm about to tell you, very few people know. And so if you made it this far, enjoy this nugget of information. And I go over this more in detail in my free masterclass to help you master gel nails. Link in the description box below. So in order for the best adhesion between nail and product, the flexibility of the natural nail and the nail product have to match. So that means hard nails will wear well with hard products like acrylic, hard gel, and acrygel, and soft flexible nails will wear best with products like soak-off gel. And so with the dramatic images of nail separation, what you're seeing is not just a lack of cuticle oil, but a lack of compatibility between the natural nail and the product. Upon impact, the nail flexes, but the product does not. So let's recap. The reason why nails lift are not just due to a lack of cuticle oil. Cuticle oil is magnificent, and definitely not using it enough can be a contributing factor for having nail separation. So keep using it. But the nail separation is also most likely due to overfiling the sidewalls, harsh prepping chemicals, and product incompatibility. Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear what you learned, your biggest takeaway from today's conversation. Thank you for watching. If you loved today's video, can you do me a favor and give it a thumbs up to boost it up in the algorithm so that I may help more people? And if you need a little more direction in your nail career, I want to encourage you to join my free masterclass using the link in the description box below. It is available for you to watch immediately for free right now after signing up. We're continuing on with our 1 video per day challenge this month. That's right, 1 video each day for a total of 31 consecutive videos. If you're all in on soft potted gel nail systems or being a specialized gel nail stylist in these systems, I got your back these next 30 days, and of course in this channel altogether, because those are revolving topics here. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, hit the notification bell icon so that you're notified as soon as our video drops. Otherwise, every video goes up at 6 p.m. Eastern.